Hey everybody, this is GGB. Today we're going to be going over what happened in Saturday basketball, what is going to happen today in Sunday basketball, and how awesome I am for, again, hitting the 4-point goal for this week. But let's get straight into this thing. In the Big East, we had one pretty big matchup today with Villanova taking on UConn. UConn ended up losing this one, but luckily for UConn, they were helped out by St. John's losing to DePaul. What? That was crazy. They were also helped out with a Georgetown upset of Seton Hall. Also a what? So that was weird. All these things are weird that happened today in the Big East, except for the Villanova thing. That's what most of us expected. Creighton fans were really sad when it happened, but other than that, nothing too big happened in the Big East. No big changes except for Georgetown hopping a couple of spots. You go to the SEC basketball. Again, I said some crazy stuff could happen today. Nothing really that crazy happened today. It would have been crazy since Tennessee lost to Kentucky, which, I mean, I don't know if anyone really saw that one quite coming. But Ole Miss ended up losing to Mississippi State in a weird one. Like, that's a weird thing to happen. Ole Miss was looking like a really good basketball team, then they lost to Mississippi State. What? Florida won, so that's a good thing for Florida if you're a Florida fan. Nothing really changed in the top half. Vanderbilt kept it close with Alabama, which was, like, really weird. Maybe Alabama's not as good as everyone thinks. I know I'm going to pick against them round one, mainly because they just haven't been able to beat anyone significantly out of conference. It's not great. Outside of conference, they have, a 5-4 record with losses to Western Kentucky and other teams, I don't know. They lost some not great games. Western Kentucky, they have a loss to. You have Stanford beating them. It's been odd. Clemson's beating them. I'll say Western Kentucky again. Yeah, no, obviously it's been bad. It's not been great for Alabama, that's for sure. They've beaten UNLV, Providence, Furman, and East Tennessee State out of conference. Whoa. I just got to give you a clap for that one. When your best win is against Stanford, it's not great. Alabama's been pretty dominant in conference, but when they go outside the SEC, they just really haven't played that well. And I might have to just pick against them in the tournament for that reason. They haven't been great playing against anyone. They don't have a lot of game tape on. They haven't played about 1 billion times before. So, I don't know. But they just did not look good against Vanderbilt today. Florida was able to stay where they were. Actually, hopped Tennessee thanks to the Tennessee loss. It's really all that happened. Mississippi State moved past Georgia. Really all that happened today. I hope you guys are excited about it. The Big 12, Oklahoma moved past Kansas with their win today, despite Kansas also winning, which is weird. Like, what the heck is happening over there? But, I don't know. Like, Oklahoma's second place now. Just accept it. West Virginia was able to beat Texas Tech. Very close game late. Texas is now in 5th place in the Big 12, which good for them because Texas Tech just fell to 6-6, passed by Oklahoma State. Kansas State picked up their second in conference win today and ended a 13-game losing streak. Give them a round of applause, everyone. Good job, Wildcats. I mean, it was against TCU, the third worst team in the Big 12, but at least it was someone. You beat someone not named Iowa State who has 0 wins, and they're not the worst in conference this year, which a lot of Kansas State fans expected them to be. Now you move on to the Big 10. Only one game today of huge significance, although in the Indiana-Michigan State game was pretty important, and Rutgers fans are thanking you, Michigan State, because Indiana would have been literally right on their heels with a win, and Michigan State was able to pull it out. Penn State fans are cursing Indiana because, dang, Penn State would have been tied with them if they win today. Illinois was able to beat Minnesota, which, I mean, of course, everyone expected to happen. I mean, Ohio State fans were hoping, but I'm pretty sure we all expected that to happen. The only real hope for Ohio State left is when they play Wisconsin. You can hope for an upset by Michigan State on Tuesday, which, I mean, they upset Illinois, Indiana, but I think Illinois is a significantly better team than Indiana, so, I don't know, I guess you gotta hope for Wisconsin to become good all of a sudden. I just don't know what's gonna happen. And yeah, that's really all that happened. in the Big Ten. We move on to ACC. Florida State was able to take first place. Good for the Seminoles. The Hokies are still in third place. Sad face. I was hoping they would move up a spot, even though they haven't played in like 2 weeks, it would have been impressive if they had moved up a spot, but unfortunately did not. That's really all that happened. UNC was able to beat Louisville, move to fourth place, so that's a good hot for UNC. Other than that, Duke was able to pull off the upset against Virginia, which is why Florida State took first place. Good job, Duke. Maybe I can consider you for the playoffs. Hey, you know what? Never mind. You're not that great. Duke has what? 2 games left to prove, 4 games left to prove themselves. I'm a moron. Sorry, I had to scroll down. But like, none of these games are really gonna boost their resume. I mean, other than the Virginia win. You're not going to be able to be like, ooh, we beat Syracuse. Ooh, we beat Georgia Tech. The UNC and Louisville ones might be decent, but they're like fringe tournament teams themselves. Even if they do win out, 14-8 record, I just don't know if that's going to be enough, and especially in this loaded ACC. There's a lot of teams I'd take over Duke at this point. Obviously, Florida State, Virginia Tech have already punched their ticket pretty much. But like, I'm 100% in favor of letting UNC and Louisville in over Duke at this point. Clemson, Syracuse probably. Georgia Tech's been weirdly great recently. I don't know. Actually, Georgia Tech has a better record than Duke, so why the frick not, I guess. NC State was able to hop about a good 2 spots today. Pretty good, past Pitt and Notre Dame. Just right behind Georgia Tech. So Georgia Tech, you better watch out. The Wolf Packs are coming. They have a tough game coming up on Tuesday when they play Virginia. But other than that, it's not a horrible schedule moving forward, except for the number 18 Virginia Tech. They have pretty easy games against Pitt and Notre Dame moving forward. So that's a good thing to look forward to if you're an NC State fan. You move on to Pac-12. USC was upset by Arizona today. So good for Arizona. They got a win. UCLA was able to avoid the upset today over Arizona State. Arizona State, come on, guys. It just proves that the Pac-12 is just really not that great this year. If Arizona State's coming close, it's not great for your conference, that's for sure. You have UCLA. They have the same conference record as USC, which, I mean, you got to be happy if you're a Bruins fan today because you escaped with that Sun Devils game. Dang, was that too close for comfort. But USC has tiebreaker, they beat them earlier in the season. They also have a better record. So, I mean, just everything's going in USC's favor. But UCLA does have a chance Saturday, March 6th to stop that. They get to play number 17 USC. So they hold their fate being the 1 seed, being the regular season conference champion. But let's be honest, they almost lost to Washington on last Saturday, and then they almost lost to Arizona State today. Who says they're going to escape Utah and Colorado with a win? I mean, Colorado's been difficult recently, so who freaking knows what's going to happen there? Utah's not been an easy walk in the park. Ask Oregon today. But moving to the Mountain West, you had San Diego State taking on Fresno State again. San Diego State was able to get a win. Moving up past Colorado State. I still think Colorado State's a better overall team than they are, but I just don't think they have a game against them coming up. They just have the Air Force series, which Air Force is just really not that great this year. Boise State is just, I don't see them losing. Actually, never mind. They could lose. I mean, they have to play number 25 San Diego State on Thursday and next Saturday, so we'll see. We'll see what's going to be able to happen there. San Diego State could take the division if they won both those games. No, they can't split them. Splitting them would not work for San Diego State. You got to sweep Boise State if you want to take the division. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I don't see Boise State losing both those games, but who knows. They're both in San Diego State, I believe, so that could happen. They've not been great on the road this year. Notoriously bad, actually. Actually, 6-4 is not horrible, but if you look at it, they've lost some games they really shouldn't have lost because they were on the road. Look at the Nevada series if you want to look at that. Gonzaga, in a weird game, they lost to San Diego. Now, this is what most people expected to happen unless you were a delusional San Diego fan. No one expected you guys to win today. They didn't. Guess what? Newsflash. San Diego did not beat Gonzaga today. I don't think anyone in this conference really can beat Gonzaga, which I think they could go undefeated. I see Baylor also going undefeated, not because I don't think anyone in the Big 12 can't beat Baylor, but because they're just not playing or refusing to play a basketball game. So, I mean, you're going to take the division if you're undefeated and then you never play another basketball game. Like, of course that's going to happen. But let's get into the games that are going on today. We have 3 important Big Ten games and an American game. So let's start with the Big Ten games. We have Iowa traveling to Penn State traveling to Iowa at 4 o'clock on FS1. We have number 3 Michigan traveling to number 4 Ohio State, which is I'm sure is the one everyone's looking forward to. And at 6 o'clock, number 21 Wisconsin traveling to Northwestern. So let's see what would happen with a win and a loss for each team. Now I'm sure if you're an Illinois fan, you're hoping to God that Michigan loses here. It's weird to root for Ohio State, but you feel like you kind of have to here. Weirdly enough, you kind of have to root for Ohio State. Unless you want to for sure be the number 1-2 seed, because Michigan is not going to lose. Well, I don't know. They have a lot of games coming up. Never mind. They've rescheduled a whole bunch. They still have to play number 11 Iowa on Thursday. Still have to play Indiana. Illinois still gets a shot at them. Michigan State gets 2 shots at them. So you're really hoping for a win here, because then you just need to beat Michigan. Then you hold your own fate in your hands. And if you look at Illinois' rest of their schedule, they don't have that many games left. They have 5, but again, you have Michigan State coming up on Tuesday. Unlikely you lose that one. And Nebraska should be a walk in the park for the Illini. The last time, it definitely was not. It was a weird one that was not a walk in the park. But then you have number 21 Wisconsin. Now that one was a walk in the park for Iowa a few days ago. I feel like it could be a walk in the park for Illinois too. Then they have to play Michigan and Ohio State. So definitely this Big Ten isn't as done as I thought it was earlier in the season when Michigan canceled all their games because they rescheduled all of them. Michigan, Illinois, Ohio State, I believe all has a shot at taking this division. It would take a lot for Ohio State to take it, but just really you'd have to hope for one pretty huge upset. You just have to beat them today if you're Ohio State, hope Illinois beats them, and then if Iowa beats them, you should be right on track to have the same record as it should be. You'd have the same loss. 10-4 it would also be not great for Michigan. So Ohio State's just got to hope for Illinois, Iowa, and themselves to pull it off. You can pass Michigan. And then you got to hope Illinois messes up somewhere. Iowa would be the most likely one that you're hoping. But basically, if you're Illinois, a loss for Michigan would bring them down to 10-2. Again, not enough for you to take the division lead quite yet, but it would make you very close. 2 percentage points off. Then you could hold your own destiny in your hands. Now, Ohio State with a win doesn't move past Illinois either, but it makes them very close with Illinois. And then you can just hope for Illinois upset against Michigan State on Tuesday. I don't know. Then you also play them in the future too, so you can also beat them then. It just depends on when you want to beat them, when you want to pass them. Now, if Ohio State was to lose, 12-5 is still better than Iowa's 10-5, which could be an 11-5 record, but still not good enough to pass Ohio State. So if you're an Iowa fan, obviously a Michigan fan today. If Michigan was to win this game to stay in the 1 spot, that's pretty easy. Now let's go to the Iowa-Penn State game. Again, not going to much happen here with a win or a loss from each team. If Iowa was to lose this game, Penn State was to pull off the pretty significant upset. I believe Iowa was favored by 11 points in the second to largest spread of the day. Penn State would get to 5-10. Not enough to pass Michigan State quite yet. You have to hope that they lose to Illinois if you're a Penn State fan on Tuesday, and then just hope you beat Purdue the following time you play. Then Iowa, really with a loss, doesn't do much. With a win, doesn't do much. Obviously, you want the win to stay right behind Ohio State. Hopefully, they lose if you're an Iowa fan, and you can be right behind them with an 11-5 record, while Ohio State has a 12-5 in conference record. But with a loss, they fall to 10-6. A 16-7 record is still better than a 15-8 record in any world that I go to. So even with a loss, Iowa is going to retain the 4th place. Even with the win, is going to retain 4th place. Same with Penn State. With a win or loss, are not moving today. Let's talk about the next one. Northwestern plays Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin with a win can move to 10-7, or they can fall to 9-8. Now, Rutgers has a chance to move to 9-8 today when they play Maryland as well. So we'll get to see what happens there at 2 o'clock. So Wisconsin will be going into this game knowing if they really have to win or not. Now, Wisconsin still would hold the tiebreaker with Rutgers if they lost. A 9-8 record would be same in conference, but a 13-8 record is 15-9 record is still better than 13-8 record. So Wisconsin would stay where they're at in 6th place, but Wisconsin's reeling right now. Would really need a win against Northwestern. Now, Northwestern is the definition of reeling. It lost 12 straight. It's not great, but I mean, obviously, a big loss streak was stopped yesterday against Kansas State, so it's possible. Northwestern is just a good team, good enough team to pull off upsets. You get the look at the Indiana game, but I'm gonna be interested to see it. Wisconsin. Remember, nothing's really big going to happen in the Big Ten today. No real falls of any sort or rises. Now you look at the American, we have one game. Cincinnati is traveling to number 6 Houston. Houston's favored by 14 points. Now if Cincinnati with a win moves to 6-4, not enough to take SMU just quite yet. But it'd be right behind SMU. SMU for the chance. Now with a win, Houston's going to be again probably taking the division. They still have a very good 12 out of 15 games is still very good. I think it's better than a 9 out of 11. 9 out of 11 is just under 90%. 12 out of 15 is, I think, over 90%. So, wait, actually, no, it's not. Never mind. I'm a stupid person. I think Houston's going to stay in 2nd place, even if they do win today. Obviously, it would be better if they do win today, and then you just hope Wichita State gets upset along the way so you can take the division again. They play SMU on Thursday, February 25th. They play SMU twice, actually, so you just got to hope SMU helps you out on one of those. I don't see Wichita State losing to Tulane or Temple at this point, so you really got to hope SMU helps you out at a significant amount there if you're a Houston fan. Now, if you're a Cincinnati fan, obviously, you're hoping you win this one. Then Wichita State helps you out by beating SMU both those times, and you can pass SMU. Now, with a loss, Cincinnati falls to 5-5. So if you're a Tulsa fan, you're a huge fan of Houston today, so you can pass Cincinnati again. Also, weirdly enough, if you're a UCF fan, Cincinnati plays Tulsa a few days from now. You kind of want them to both be 500 heading into that game, so whoever loses can fall behind you, if you keep winning. So UCF has actually looked pretty decently as of late, and I think they're a top half of the American to be sure. I think they're a little bit below a team like Wichita State, Houston, Memphis, SMU, but I do think they're Cincinnati, Tulsa caliber of good right now. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there with UCF. But who does GGB think is going to pull off the upset today? In my opinion, our best chance is Ohio State upsetting number 3, Michigan. Now, I've talked about Ohio State for a long time on my channel. I really do believe they're number 1 seed material. I really do believe they're Final Four material. You could see it in the Penn State game. They struggled, right? Which isn't a great sign to see from a team that you want to see in the Final Four struggling against a team like Penn State. But a lot of their better players got in foul trouble early, and then they still found a way to win, which in my opinion is very impressive. When your better players are in foul trouble and you still win the game against a pretty capable Penn State team, I found that admirable. I really like Ohio State this year. I think they can make it all the way to the Final Four. I don't know if they'll be able to beat a team like Baylor or Gonzaga, but I do love their chances to make it into the Final Four. Hey everybody, this is GGB co-host Pepper saying adios amigos and go Buckeyes.